where you have a situation where an animal has migrated to a new area, even if there's some level of human responsibility for that, nature should be able to take its course. I don't think it's right to choose to kill one species over another in any case. We do not see the barred owl as an invasive species. We see these animals as migrating and becoming residents of the Pacific Northwest. We brought litigation under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, challenging the legality of that experiment. The court ruled against us. We appealed to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and while the justices seemed to be sympathetic towards our concern over the barred owls, they found that the Migratory Bird Treaty Act did not prevent a prohibition here for what the agency was doing. If we start to see more animals migrate, we're going to get ourselves into a huge quagmire of having to start choosing how we're going to manipulate the environment and the ecosystems all over the world. It's a slippery slope in our minds.
The argument of nature taking its course here is a fair argument. It is definitely an interesting question and ethical one in terms of removing one species to save another species. Over the last 10 years, we have done a small pilot of removing barred owls from territories where spot owls occur. About 180 barred owls have been removed. About 130 of those were through a capture and relocation, and another 50 of those were actually shot. We have approximately 300,000 hectares of forest protected for spotted owl. I think captive breeding is considered the last-ditch effort to save a species. We owe it, if we've gone this far, to at least give it a good solid try, do our best.
Where we are standing right now is the highest density of spot owls in the entire world. So here in Canada, it's estimated that we have less than 10 spot owls left in the wild. So the 21 that we have here at the breeding program are very, very important. We started the breeding program in 2007, and it's created to restore the population of spot owls in BC through captive breeding and release. They're not really that eager to breed, and that's very challenging. Every time a female lays an egg, we take the egg away from her, replace it with a sensor egg, and then we take her actual egg, put it into an incubator, and then we incubate it. So after 32 days of incubation, the chick begins to hatch. It can take up to 4 days from the very first crack in the eggshell to the time we're actually holding a chick in our hand. So it's a very long process. Patience is key. But once we have that chick in our hand, we raise it for 10 days, and then we return it to the nest. We are breeding barred owls here at the breeding program as well, which might sound counterintuitive, but we're doing that because we can learn a lot from the barred owls. So they will lay their eggs before our spot owls. And then once the spot owls come, we're all prepared. We've had the practice run of the barred owls. The captive breeding program right now, if it doesn't exist in Canada, the spot owl is gone. There's a lot of work that we still need to do before we do releases, and we are being very hesitant to do any releases until we are confident that those individuals are going to survive.
The goal is truly to maintain biodiversity, maintain species that have a chance to survive.
Ultimately, I think the information that we're gaining in this experiment is going to benefit both species, so that we can have both these species in our landscape and not just one.
One conflict we fix, 10 conflicts we fix. I mean, what level are we intending to play in the natural world in the next century.
I think we've gotten to the point now that you're just trying to do what you can, and sometimes things aren't pretty. Conservation is always a challenge. There's always going to be somebody complaining about something, and I think the point is that we're trying.